Good evening, and welcome to Riderpiece Theater. Me, Alistair Dayhawk. Tonight, I'm proud to present Kamen Rider Geats Episode 7, The Broken Tycoon. The reason why I title this is because Ace has broken Tycoon's trust. And for those who already seen the episode, already knows what happened. And I have to say this. Ace is a hypocrite. He's a no-good bastard who will use anybody to get ahead. And I feel sorry for Keiwa at this point. He trusted. I feel like Keiwa sees him as a friend, and I felt that night scene between him and Ace, just realizing why he wrote down like he wants world peace. He understood why, because of his experience, and we all assume that they share a common goal, but it's not true. And it goes back to saying again about this tournament, do not trust anybody. It's every person, every rider for themselves. And it's been proven time and time again. And Keiwa, unfortunately can be very he can be deceived very easily. And what I don't understand, which I think I do understand, but why him of all people and not Neon? We understand why he cannot do anything to Michinaga, because Michinaga hates him already. But to pick on Keiwa in order to get the ninja buckle, oh man, I don't know. But like I said, Ace is a hypocrite. He is very deceitful, and it's just like, why did you lecture Michinaga of him, you can't use dirty tricks, I'm true to myself, and yet he does these things to poor Keiwa. I don't understand. However, before I move on, I don't want this rant to go any longer. Let's go to the recap, shall we? So Keiwa is doing his chronicles as usual, and only this time, yet again, his sister interrupts him, and she assumes that he is looking at digital playboys on his phone, and that scene ended awkwardly. And then we move on to Ace, and now we know who Ace is searching for, and that is his mom. We don't know what happened to the father. All we know about the mom, she disappeared, so he is looking for her. And then we move on to Keiwa yet again, and this time he is looking at his old things when he was a child. For instance, he is reading a letter from his 10-year-old self to his ninja toys, and that's a little Easter egg for what's coming next. And then we have Neon doing her streaming as usual, trying to escape the Men in Black, which for the 53rd time she ends up getting caught. But luckily for her, the Squidwards have arrived, and she she escaped. And then Tsumuri announced the final round is starting. The final boss is here, And so we have the remaining four riders, appearing at the site, and we get to see what the monster looks like, and he looks like a green, small green monster. And of course, um, before seeing the monster, Keiwa ends up getting the booster buckle yet again. And it's confirmed now that Keiwa has a hidden ability that even he, doesn't know yet. And apparently the booster buckle seems to have a liking towards Keiwa. So Keiwa gets the booster buckle, and then we fast forward to the final boss. And Michinaga assumed that it's going to be easy, so he ends up transforming, but he gets the lesson of appearances can be deceiving, and he got his ass whooped. So Tsuburi tells the writers how to defeat him. So we get to see this weird giant plant that ends up eating people and uses their energy into and store it into a soda can. So all those humans that plant eats becomes soda, becomes fuel for the final boss. And in order to defeat him, believe it or not, is to kick the soda can. However, it's easier said than done, because once he drinks it, he becomes larger, his strength goes up as well, and he doesn't stay in one place. So the moment he drinks, he goes on to another place, eats humans, drinks their energy, and the whole process repeats itself. So they retreated. They are at the waiting lounge, and Ace tells the story about how that monster pretty much wiped out all the riders and humans in a particular area in a past tournament. And it's the same monster. And Keiwa is asking all the right questions that we, the audience, want answered. For instance, like, how many times have you participated in this tournament? Why are you here this time since you won the last time? How is it that you know about this tournament? All these correct questions, and yet Ace pretty much just like doesn't give them any answers. He ends up leaving and going to the bar and just doesn't give them any answers. And then it leads to Michinaga demanding Keiwa to hand over the booster. And of course, Keiwa's like, no, I'm going to use it this time. And there was going to be a fight, but luckily the butler was there, broke it up, and just told them to just go home. All of them, not just those two. My theory, like I said before, he is a Roman. I believe he's a Roman. And he has done this so many times to the point that he knows all the secrets of the tournament, how to unlock a certain buckle, and all that. I feel that he has studied the tournament. Hell, maybe he was part of creating the tournament. I don't know. But I feel like he knows enough where he can easily unlock buckles and just win the tournament. So we move on to Ace and Neon. Neon invites Ace over for dinner, and what I got from the scene, I felt like Neon wanted to understand Ace just to get to know him a little bit better, trying to figure him out. At the same time, she feels like she's being selfish because she's fighting for a wish, but Ace, with his typical pep talk, saying, like, I mean, you're risking your neck to save the world. It's only natural that you get rewarded for such a deed. And can you imagine Ace having a conversation with Peter Parker? Because I get the feeling that Peter Parker would disagree on that, maybe. Because, I mean, as superheroes in general, they don't get paid for saving lives at all. I mean, they're doing it out of the kindness of their hearts, and they just move on to their daily life. But I would like to see Ace and Peter Parker have this conversation. Just saying. And so, guess who comes into the same restaurant? Not Neon. Keiwa and Sarah. They arrive at the same restaurant. So those two decide to, join in on Ace and Neon, and they have dinner together. And of course, typical Sarah, all starstruck that not only Ace is there, but Neon is there too. So she's, and Kayla's like, oh my god, so embarrassed. And then we get a little bit of backstory where Kayla's parents have passed away, and since then they've been taking care of each other ever since. And you should take a look at Ace's reaction after that story. He was feeling kind of sad. His head was down, just eating his noodles. You can tell that their story affected him a lot, which leads to their conversation in the next scene. Neon and Sarah have their own mini conversation, and then it leads to the boys' conversation. And this is the part where it just really gets to me in anger, because I know, and people in the audience know what's going to happen next, which makes the situation that much damaging. Because Ace understood, he now understands why Keiwa wants world peace. He doesn't want people to experience his pain. He wants everybody to live happily and not experience anything bad. And to that end, we all felt that maybe Ace and Keiwa have a mutual understanding. They may want to work together, and they want to save the world, so why not? And then Keiwa asks Ace about his family, and he doesn't remember. And he finished off by saying, let's save the world together, and he ends up leaving. Which leads to that scene. So the final boss appears, then the final four then appears. I felt like something was missing, because it looked like Keiwa already have established a plan, maybe with Ace, what it looks like. So I got this feeling that behind the scenes that Ace and Keiwa had this plan to distract the monster and to kick the can, and let Keiwa kick the can. And so Keiwa uses the booster for the first time, and you see him, trying, not really attack the monster, but trying to find the can, and you see him, dodging the shots here and there until he found the can. But then the monster got him, threw him like Team Rocket blasting off. He managed to survive, but the monster kept on shooting him and shooting him. And mind you, he was demorphed, so he was in his human form. So he ends up running, he's injured, he ends up collapsing, and then Ace comes in, saves him from the blast. But this is not what you think. After Ace saves him, a box appeared in front of Keiwa. And there is a notification on Ace's phone saying, like, secret mission, save a rider's life. And in turn, opens the box and reveals the ninja booster. The ninja buckle, sorry. And Keiwa was so confused, like, what just happened? Like, I don't understand. And then this is where Ace revealed his true colors. That he used him in order to get that buckle. He was manipulated yet again by Ace. He was used as a tool just to get that buckle. And poor Keiwa, he was just devastated. And I felt for him. Like, I was like, dude, like, Ace, what the hell? Like, I understand, yet I don't understand. Anyway, so he ends up using the ninja buckle, and he attacks the monster while trying to find the can. He spots the can, kicks it, and we assume that Ace won because the objective was to kick the can. But then Sumuri, out of nowhere, neglected something yet again, stating that yes, Ace kicked the can. However, it didn't kick the can out of this area, whatever. Because when Ace kicked the can, the monster caught it in time, and then it disappeared. So the game is still on. And then heading back to the temple, this is where things get a little bit nasty. And what I mean by that is that Michinaga asked, like, how did you know about the ninja buckle and how to unlock it? What's going on? And typical Ace with his smug look, like, I just knew, it's just, I know things. And then it leads to Keiwa still on the ground, and he just stares at Ace, and Ace said, "Don't give me that look. I'm going to save the world. I will save the world." And at that moment, I wanted Keiwa to just stick out his middle finger and just show it to him. Like, stick out his middle finger at him, because by God, it just gets me all rattled up. So before he collapsed, he said, "No more trust. In other words, he will never trust Ace ever again." And he ends up collapsing, and then Neon comes in and holds his head up, and you see that look that Neon gives to Ace too. Like, she had that disappointed, sad face, and it leads to Ace. Tsumuri said something afterwards, and then all the writers just like give how their like their looks, and then lastly you see Ace with his smug smiley face, and just, you want to punch him. You really want to punch him, and that's the end of the episode. My God, man. I don't know. Keiwa, I know sticking his middle finger out at someone is out of his character, but in this case, you need to show your middle finger at Ace, because he used you. He he pretty much like used your emotions and your beliefs against you in order to move ahead. And I wonder in the next episode, like, how can Keiwa ever trust him ever again? How can he see Ace for what he is, in terms of, how do I know if he's telling the truth, or he's lying, or he's using me? Like, that's the hardest part. So I don't know how the relationship is gonna turn out, because at the end of the day, you cannot trust anybody. Michinaga said it best. You cannot trust anybody. Because they're gonna backstab you in the back. They're gonna use you. And it's just Ace is like, at this point, like, Ace needs to lose. He needs to be taught a lesson. And again, Ace is a hypocrite. He is no good. He's a bastard. And just, he's the anti-hero in this point. Like, I don't care if he's searching for his mom. I don't really care. It's just, he used the poor boy in order to move ahead, in order to win. And he lectures Michinaga about using dirty tricks. It's just, it doesn't sit well with me. So we'll see. It's just, my God, Ace, someone needs to punch him. I never felt this way since I wanted Hirumi to punch George after, the whole thing about not telling him the truth about the demon driver and just making fun of his catchphrase. It was just so horrible. Ace is not winning me over. But I wonder if that was Yuya's intention, to root for the underdog and not, Ace at this point. I don't know what's his deal, what his plan is, but at least more people will be on the side of Keiwa at this point. I don't know who's going to win this tournament, but hopefully in the later episodes he will get a chance to win, and maybe there's going to be a character change, because Ace has been exposing Keiwa for, like, how he can be easily manipulated. And just, I feel that towards the end of Geats, he's gonna be a changed man. He's gonna be the same personality, but he's gonna be very careful on how to see people and be able to be careful around people. That's what I'm trying to say. But other than that, another good episode. Ace is a no good SOP. I hope that someone decks him, but of course, writers cannot, because they're gonna lose points to maybe a disqualification. So we don't want that. Other than that, yeah. What do you think about this episode? Did it make you mad at the end of this episode, like me? Did you like the episode? Did you dislike the episode? And if so, what would you change? What would you change? And which leads me to a question. Do you still like Ace after this? Or are you the side of Ace or the side of Keiwa at this point? Which side are you on? And do you want Ace to win? Personally, I don't. Have somebody else. Other than that, thank you for listening. Please give a like if you like it, and please subscribe. And if you didn't like it, well, thank you so much for listening. And I will see you all on the other side of oblivion. Johnny!